Hello, happy weekend. Do you know that Shyam Benegal's film Manthan was produced by 5 lakh farmers? Yeah, this movie still holds the record of a movie being funded by the maximum number of individuals. And do you know that Lagan, that was the highest blockbuster of the year 2001, that took India to the Oscars, has more British actors than the lead cast. And in 1960, Mughal-e-Azam was shot in 3 languages: English, Hindi and Tamil. Well, the films of India have always been ahead of their times and constantly evolving. The Manthan is still on. I am Atika Farooqui. I hope you are also a partner in every good change. And on this note, let's start now showing with the highlights. Black Mirror Season 6 is a must-watch for all the lovers of quirky storytelling and satire. Film Juno is this week's recommendation that will make you look at puberty with a renewed lens. Nandita Das, just back from being a jury at Shanghai Film Festival, breaks down her long associations with the international film festivals. And as we celebrate World Music Day this week, celebrated singer-songwriter Swanand Kirkire shares stories behind his iconic songs. And let's start the show with Black Mirror Season 6 review. Well, Black Mirror is a British anthology television series created by Charlie Brooker. Each episode is standalone and can be watched in any order. And individual episodes explore a diversity of genres, stories, human issues, modern-day perils and social malaise. But most are set in near-future dystopias with sci-fi technology. It also incorporates a comment on contemporary social issues, contemporary life. There are 27 episodes across 6 series. Let me start with the first episode of the 6th series. The first is Joan is Awful. An average working woman living with her Indian boyfriend is shockingly stunned to discover a global OTT platform has just launched a reality TV show that's a minute-by-minute adaptation of all that's going on in her life. And this protagonist with the girl story is portrayed by Hollywood A-lister Salma Hayek. Whatever Joan does is exaggerated on TV to make her sound wild, cruel, just plain insensitive. And the show is a clear take on modern-day content scene, which thrives on themes such as crime, gore, violence, hatred, that all come together as negative content which stokes an average viewer's curiosity more than the positive content. Oh my God, you would look at 24/7 live streaming content in a different light after watching this. Next is Loch Henry. A young couple travel to a quaint, secluded Scottish town to start work on a documentary. The guy meets his mother, who's strange in her behavior. As the story unfolds, the local legend involving shocking criminal events of the past play up to affect their present lives. The end of the show is so poignant and painful and ironic. Remember, satire and irony and Black Mirror go hand in hand. The next is A Maisie Day. A troubled young actress is always harassed by overbearing, invasive paparazzi. On a fateful night of a hit-and-run incident, her future and the cruel tactics of paparazzi come together to make a dreadful situation that questions that click of a camera at an inappropriate time. This one was my favorite. And Demon 79. Northern England, 1979, a docile, fearful sales assistant in a shoe shop is visited by a rock star demon and coaxed into committing horrific acts to save the future. Is she in the wrong or is she in the right? Owing to the nature of the show and the DNA of the screwed up, deviant nature of the storylines, I cannot reveal more than this. But yeah, this one would be a good use of your time. This kind of writing to stimulate and invoke in us an understanding of where the world is going and the people's addiction to technology is going is introspective indeed. It's been 4 years since Series 5 had come. The long gap was partly due to the pandemic. In 2020, Broker had said, "At the moment, I don't know what stomach there would be for stories about societies falling apart. So I'm not working away on any one of these." But the time is right now and I'm glad that he's back at his work. We are back on our feet and some quirk in modern day storytelling is so much awaited and much welcome. And after the review, now here is the recommendation for your weekend watch. Juno. Yes, I know it's a popular film, but here it is one more time. Juno is a 2007 American coming-of-age comedy drama film directed by Jason Reitman and written by Diablo Cody. Elliot Page stars as the title character, an independent-minded teenager confronting an unplanned pregnancy and the subsequent events that put pressures of adult life onto her. Juno MacGuff, the title character, is 16 and pregnant, but she is nowhere near to be tamed for that reason. Juno is the colorful alternate personality every teenager desires at the time of growing through the teenage years, for all the good reasons. We tend to say and believe that no one is perfect, but everyone is asked to question that phase again and again while watching the two sweetheart parents of Juno, Bren played by Allison Janney and Mac played by J.K. Simmons. The grown-ups at first seem like familiar caricatures of adolescent-centered cinema, square, sad and clueless, but Juno's parents turn out to be utterly observant, accepting and hilariously sarcastic. Miss Cody's script and Mr. Reitman's understated, delicately funny direction allows the personalities of the characters to emerge slowly and to change in credible and predictable ways. Polly Bleeker is the boyfriend, who is also the teen father of Juno's unexpected child, played by Michael Cera. Polly portrays that teen, passive and panicky character most of us become in our nervous teenage years, and it just sits perfectly at its place. Juno as a film respects the idiosyncrasies of its characters rather than exaggerating them or holding them up for ridicule. And like Juno herself, the film outgrows its own mannerisms and defenses, evolving from a coy, knowing farce into a heartfelt, serious comedy. The film has no wrong scenes and scenes in its narrative and flows like running water. The enchanting folk songs acting as a recurring motif in the film just enhances the charisma of the film. I'm sure you would look at these teenage years and particularly puberty in both girls and boys in a different way when you look at this film and the characters. And let's talk to Nandita Das now. With her films like 1947 Earth, Fire, she's the face of cinema that underlines change. And notably, she has been a part of international film festivals from the 90s. Starting with Cannes Film Festival in 2005, she has been on the jury of many international film festivals and has traveled far and wide with her films like Firak, Manto and Zwigato. She recently got back from Shanghai, where again she was in the jury, and she talks to me about her experiences of being a jury member. Hi Nandita, how are you?
I'm good, Atika. How are you?
I can see that you're sitting inside your living room, which is Mumbai, and that is Bandra, which means you're back from
Just come back this morning.
just come back from Shanghai. And you were one of the juries at Shanghai Film Festival. How was it and how many days in Shanghai?
It was fabulous. I always like jury duties. I think एक तो ये है that you get to not only watch films, आजकल films so we can watch it anywhere, but the
Yeah.
good part is that you can actually discuss them with interesting minds. Those are the best moments when you have other, like in this case there were 7 jurors in total, so there were 6 others, and after watching 3 or 4 films we do a discussion together. And when you're discussing films, you're actually discussing life. You're discussing why you think a certain way, which means you're also discussing your own experiences, your own perspectives, your own prejudices and biases also show up.
So how many films in total did you see this year? How many of them were competing? Which one actually won? Give us a few recommendations.
Yeah, how many did we saw? 12 films in total. And they were from different countries, from Spain, from Russia, from Iran, from China, Japan. There were so many different countries that were being represented. And there was one film that was black and white, shot on 16 mm, something was shot on high definition digital. So even in terms of their form, they were very different. In terms of their stories, they were very different. There was one about a culture that's almost dying, and in fact, one of the women, she actually dies. It was more like a docu-fiction of a community that's getting extinct. And then there was a film about a man who writes obituaries. He was a failed scriptwriter, और वो बैठ के obituaries लिखता है, and how he creates the stories, so
Wow.
it's such a window into so many different worlds. The president was a Polish filmmaker. He's a director, producer, also an actor. He's even acted in Avengers and some Hollywood
Really?
films. Yeah. तो मुझे तो बड़ा मजा आया.
Give us a few recommendations. What were the like top 5 films of the?
Well, these films, I don't know whether you'll be able to, I mean, whether they'll come anytime soon, but there was
Hmm.
a film called Yoko from Japan, which won a lot of awards. It won
Okay.
film, it won the best actor. She was just outstanding. The kind of, when we talk of independent cinema and realism, what we
Hmm.
realism, it's at a different level. And
True.
especially for women, I mean, I think here we are so burdened by looking a certain way, whatever the character may be. I'm not saying all, of course, here
Yeah.
also we have gems, but largely in all films, whether they were good or not, there's always something that's uneven. In every festival, you won't find all films that are great. But
Yeah.
a basic level of performance is always there. Like, this is the biggest festival in China, one
Hmm.
of the biggest in Asia. Busan, of course, is the biggest. Where all three of my directorial films were shown. So it's one of my
Yes.
favorite festivals in South Korea. But this is also becoming, it's just a 25-year-old festival, but it's becoming fairly international.
This is not the first time. I guess you've been going around the world for a very long time. Your first directorial film, Firak, was also in terms of a film, a globetrotter. Then it was Manto, which took you all over the world with its subject, and now it is Rigato.
I had two screenings of Zigato. I could attend one of them. And it was a house full, sold out show. My jurors couldn't go and watch it. I was like, अरे
Wow.
हमारा festival होता तुम तो घुसा देते किसी तरह से. But there it was also strict. My
Strict.
co-jurors wanted to watch the film and they were like, no, it's sold out. I'm like, come on, some people won't show up.
Yeah.
I will just let them come in. They really want to watch it. They were like, no, you don't have any tickets. Ethics of watching films, like no phone. Never have I seen in a festival a phone going off, for instance. Never.
Wow.
I've gone to so many festivals all over the world, and you
Hmm.
feel कि कभी गलती से तो हो ही सकता है. But at
Yeah.
least in my 26 years that I've traveled to, I don't know, 50, 100, I don't, I've lost count,
Yeah.
both as an actor and a director, I have never heard a phone going off, for instance. Not even a phone going off or even a light coming on. Like you see,
Wow.
there are certain ethics of you commit yourself. That's why for me, you
Yeah.
commit to that journey.
You raised an awareness about how important has wardrobe become in a film festival in the last 10 to 15 years, and so much so that beyond a point now we don't even think about it, that why has it happened. It was always about movies and not about fashion. Particularly Cannes has become kind of a more picturesque event than more of an immersive experience, at least talking about the media coverage.
I've been on various juries, whether twice in Cannes or Marrakesh in Morocco or Carlo Vivari in Czech Republic or San Sebastian in Spain, etc. So actually, festivals pay a lot more attention to filmmakers than actors. I've been on both sides, and
Right.
it's a celebration of the author. I mean, for an
Hmm.
actor, theater is much more their medium, right? They're out there performing their own self, their bodies, their emotions, everything is out there. Whereas in a film, you could have done the best take, but the director may not think that that's the take they want to keep. In that sense, the festivals do respect the role of a director much more than we do in our society in general. But in terms of clothes, I think it's important. But if it cannot be your first 10 most important things when you go
True.
to the festival. You
True.
want to watch films, you want to discuss films, you want to meet other people, you want to, discover new talent, you want to have great conversations, you want to be reflective, you want to eat good food. All of that is part of it, and dressing up for the red carpet is one of them. But I think sometimes it's a bit lopsided. हम लोग बहुत
Yeah.
ज़्यादा
Wardrobe.
yeah, we just sort of get into it too much. But that's also the pressure of the advertising world. You can't just keep blaming others. We are complicit. If I am scrolling through those, then I'm consuming that content.
Consuming that
That's why
content.
that's why they're seeing it, right? So we
Hmm.
also have to see how complicit we are in
Yeah.
creating what we call celebrities.
Now you're one of your own kind.
If you say it must be true, we're all one of our own kind.
I somehow, as a person, I'm always interested in children's movies. I
Mm.
do want to know what's happening in the world of children cinema, innocent movies from which we can learn something out of.
Mm.
Now, these days, even these drama and action films are being passed off as family entertainers, which they are not. They are not.
I mean, I
Children
was a
cannot be taken
chairperson
in
of
that
the
hall. And
absolutely.
you're somebody who's been at the helm at Children's Film Society. I mean, tell me, talk me through about what's the present and the future of children's cinema in India.
Yeah, those 3 years were actually difficult in the sense that, you had a children's film society, but they had never even released a film. फिल्में बनाते थे, छोटी छोटी फिल्में, और फिर यहाँ वहाँ कहीं दिखा दी तो दिखा दी, किसी स्कूल को दे दिया तो दे दिया. There was no system. If somebody wanted also those children's films, they didn't know where to go and how to get it. It was in that kind of a shape. And now, as you know, NFDC and all of these have merged, unfortunately. And I mean, I don't know what's going to come out of it, but CFSI is completely, sort of, it doesn't exist anymore. And today, and not just today, for many decades now, we are passing off a film that is supposed to be right from 6 to 60 as general entertainment.
Can you
So,
give a few
yeah,
recommendations, Nandita, some nice children's films, and where can one watch it for all the parents watching us right now?
I mean, it's really it's difficult. There was one film called Gattu, which was a
Hmm.
fun film, which actually I had produced when I was in CFSI. It's made by
Ah.
Ranjan Khosa. It's a story about a little boy and his desire to fly a kite, and how he lies and gets into a school, and masti hai, humor bhi hai. There was Satyajit Ray's Shonar Killa is a beautiful mystery detective kind of film. He had made a film called Gopi Gayan Bhagavan, जिसका हिंदी एनिमेशन किया गया था by I'm forgetting her name. I'm so bad with names. I'm aging.
Not at all.
Oh God, Rana Day is her last name. It'll come back to me. But
Okay.
she made this. She made an Indian animation. This fabulous animation called Gopi Gavaiya Baga Bajaiya. Some of these. I
Hmm.
remember as a child, I used to go to Sapru House in Delhi.
Hmm.
वहां पर बच्चों की फिल्में दिखाया करते थे.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it used to be one big outing every Sunday to be going there.
Hmm.
All those things are gone. Everything has become sort of free for all. And I don't know. I mean, my son often tells me, Mama, when are you going to make a good children's film? And I really want to. So if you come across any good story that you think can be adapted, I'm looking.
Awesome. Great, Nandita. It is always so lovely chatting with you. And
Likewise, Atika, you're a wonderful person, and it's so nice to feel supported because I know that you care for the work I do, and I'd rather not have like a whole lot of people who kind of know it cursorily. Instead, have few people who really sort of hold my hand when I'm working and say, yes, the choices you're making are fine. We all need that little hug. So thank you for that.
time for a short break here. On the other side of this break is lyricist and singer Swanand Kirkire, who's credited with this beautiful song. बावरा मन देखने चला एक सपना. This song, when you listen to it, still gives you goosebumps, isn't it? From that beautiful movie, Hazaro Khwahishein Aisi. So, this man is there on the other side of this break. You please don't go away. Welcome back to Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqi. We are celebrating World Music Day this week, and up next we have Swanand Kirkire, the singer, songwriter of such songs like Bawra Man from Hazaro Khwahishein Aisi, Bande Mein Tha Dam from Lage Raho Munna Bhai, and Navrai Na 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 from English Winglish. He talks to my colleague Vishal Chatkara about what went behind creating some of his most iconic songs. Wow! Listen in.
कागज के दो पंख लेके उड़ा चला जाए रे, जहां नहीं जाना था ये वहीं चला है रे. उम्र का ये ताना बाना समझ न पाए रे, जुबां पे जो मोह माया नमक लगाए रे, कि देखे न भाले न जाने न दाए रे, दिशाहारा केमन बोका Muntari.
Anand Kirkire, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you.
We are celebrating World Music Day this week.
Yeah.
And IPRS has recently organized a big event in which musicians shared some of the very interesting story behind their song. जैसे कहते हैं ना कि every song has a कहानी.
जी.
So today, would you please like to share the story behind your song बाबरा मन from the film हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी?
बाबरामन की स्टोरी तो ये है कि बाबरामन मैंने किसी चीज के लिए स्पेसिफिकली क्रिएट नहीं किया था, वो अपने आप में क्रिएट हुआ था। वो मैंने खुद के लिए लिखा था गाना। मैंने कभी ये बात बोली नहीं है, लेकिन मेरा एक दोस्त ऐसे बड़बड़ाता रहता था कि बावरा है, बावरे की बात का क्या बुरा मानना, बावरों की दुनिया में बावरे बसते हैं, बावरों की दुनिया में बावरे ही सस्ते हैं। तो वो बावरा 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 मुझे बहुत मजेदार लगता था। और बहुत सालों बाद जब मैंने गाना बना लिया और लिख लिया, और उसके बाद में मैंने याद किया, मैंने कहा ये कहीं वहां से तो नहीं आता इसका ओरिजिन। बाबरामन देखने चला एक सपना, बावरे से मन की देखो बावरी है बातें, बावरी सी धड़कने हैं, बावरी है सांसें, बावरी सी करवटों से निंदिया दूर भागे, बावरे से नैन चाहे, बावरे झरोखों से, बावरे नजारों को तकना, बाबरामन देखने चला एक सपना।
Is there a poem or folk song apart from Navarai Manji that you have used in English English that is close to your heart and you'd like to use it maybe in future someday?
No, but Navarai Maji is not I've not used anything, but it's my creation. It sounds like a folk song. जो नवराई वर्ड है वो मैंने एक मराठी नाटक में सुना था, घासीराम कोतवाल विजय तेंदुलकर का नाटक है। उसमें मैंने एक वर्ड सुना था, जिसमें एक गाना था उसमें कि नवराई जाते सासरी, नवराई जाते सासरी, नवराईच सासर ग चार चौगी। तो मुझे वो ब्राइड के लिए नवराई ये नाम बहुत अच्छा लगा था, और इट स्टेड विथ मी फॉर मेनी मेनी डेज। और फिर मैंने जब इंग्लिश के लिए यूज किया तो मैंने वो नवराई वर्ड यूज किया। उसके मराठी के साथ साथ उस सेम ट्यून पे, अमित त्रिवेदी की ट्यून थी, अमित त्रिवेदी की ओरिजिनल ट्यून है वो, उसके ऊपर मैंने एक हिंदी ओपनिंग भी लिखी थी। इवन वी ट्राइड अ पंजाबी लाइन ऑल्सो।
तो सुनाइए।
अब मुझे याद नहीं है, वो मेरी दिक्कत है। मैं अमित को
हिंदी सुना दीजिए।
चली रे चली न दुल्हनी, दुल्हनिया तो चल दी रे चल दी चली, पिया के घर इटलाती कैसे चली।
वो कौन सा गाना या कॉम्पोजिशन है जिसका मुखड़ा वो सिंपल बट इट वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू क्रैक द सेकंड स्टैंजा?
सेकंड स्टैंजा अब मैं बताऊं, जैसे ऑल इज वेल को टू गेट ऑल इज वेल राइट was a big problem. Even the song बहती हवा सा था, वो रैंचो को, उसमें रैंचो को हमको एस्टैब्लिश करना था। बिफोर वी वॉच हिम वी वांटेड टू नो अबाउट हिम कि वो कैसा था। उसका दूसरा अंतरा है नहीं, क्योंकि दूसरा अंतरा क्रैक ही नहीं हुआ। तो हमने कहा जो बात एक अंतरे में आ गई वो कंप्लीट आ गई है, इसके दूसरे अंतरे में आप जा ही नहीं सकते। हमको तो राहें थी चलाती, वो खुद अपनी राह बनाता, गिरता संभलता मस्ती में चलता था वो, कहाँ से आया था वो छूके हमारे दिल को, कहाँ गया उसे ढूंढो।
मन के हारे हार है, मन के जीते जीत, काहे कबीर हरि पाइये, मन ही की प्रतीत, साईं इतना दीजिए जामे कुटुंब समाए, मैं भी भूखा ना रहूं साधु ना भूखा जाए, ऐसी बानी बोलिए मन का आपा खोए, औरन को शीतल करे आपो शीतल होए। बोलिए अच्छा, सुनिए अच्छा, पढ़िए अच्छा और देखिए अच्छा। Till we meet again, I'm Matika Faruqi, as always saying goodbye with a heavy heart, but we do meet again, so that's a good bye, not a bad bye. Take care of yourself.